What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to Welcome to the den. Not too tall. I'm lean back and shit. Welcome to the den. Are we good? We good? Mic check 1 2 1 2. We good? We good? Man, thank you for allowing me to be your host this evening. If you don't know, I am Ed Honcho. It is a privilege, it is an honor to get to hang out with you guys each and every evening and discuss a variety of topics. Just kind of see how you feeling. Last night was very entertaining. A lot of throwback stuff. It was good to see that a lot of us had some common threads, if you will. But tonight we're going to talk about empathy and ethics and sympathy and morals. I ain't want to put all that in the damn thing, but we're going to discuss a variety of things, and I'm glad that you could join this evening. This is the best conversation on the internet, social commentary from a realistic perspective. And the reason why this is the best conversation on the internet is because of you, the den folk, who, join each and every evening, man, and just share your thoughts, share your views, and it's much appreciated. So I want to let you know that I'm sincere about that. Let's get the proper dilly-dallies out the way. Hey, man, you want to follow the Den on all the proper social medias? Hey, they're all there. Den Show Live, basically at everything, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Den Show Live. You can catch it easily on, if you want to send an email, you can go to denshowlive@gmail. If you want to call the Den, whether the Den line is up, down, you can always leave a voicemail, send a text message. You can call or text 833-284-3336. Again, that number is 833-284-3336. Is the easy way to remember. Is 833, the number 2, and the Den. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting the Den, from day one, and whether with sharing, whether with likes, whether with comments, being live in the chat, man. I appreciate all of y'all. I want y'all to know that. I know everybody, it ain't all about the money. You know what I mean? Do I want to grow? Would I like to make this a full-time thing? Absolutely. I'd be a liar if I told you I didn't. But hey, slow progress over no progress. And as we build this community, because like I said, I don't look at it as a YouTube channel. I feel like this is a community. There's something special here. You guys are a lot of real special people in here, and just all the different perspectives, backgrounds. I love it. But if you ever want to consider making a one-time donation, you can go to streamlabs.com/thedenshow. You can use PayPal, credit cards, some other things. Make sure that somebody told me that there's like a box, like if you want to use like Streamlabs VIP, I think it's like $5.99. If you don't want to use that, make sure you uncheck that. I don't know if it shows up on the phone. Some people were telling me that they didn't see it when they were on the phone. So make sure you uncheck that if you don't want to do that. And if you want to consider pledging on a monthly basis, there are rewards in several tiers available. Name in the credits, in the description. The Discord chat community, which I would like to really build that up so we can kind of have a 24-hour den. And I'm continuing to work on some things, so everything's not perfect. I'm still having some issues with my editing software, but you can go to patreon.com/thedenshow, and it will allow you to, support the den on a monthly basis. I appreciate all the love. Shout out to Stina Starriott and James Martin for showing love via the Patreon. It is greatly appreciated. With that being said, let's get into the conversation, but more importantly before we get into that conversation, let's see who we have joining us. Which of you wonderful denizens, den folk, friends in the den generators are joining us this evening. I see Culture the Nubis. I see, I almost said something. I'm reading your comment, I almost said the wrong name. That's fucking funny though. Beyond a funny nigga, Shannon Jones, what's the motherfucking deal? Marie Lovely, what's the motherfucking deal? McVice, Ferocious. TR, see Rob Meyer, Sweetberry, Miss Bell, what's the motherfucking deal? Soul Better, what's the motherfucking deal? Wise, what's the motherfucking deal? It's good, it's great, it is wonderful to see you all. Now I know some people are wondering, well, where does this empathy, where does this come from? Okay, well, Shaggy Rogers, what's the motherfucking deal? Looks like a new name. Welcome to the Den. If this is your first time joining us, I'm glad you could, and hopefully you become, a den folk, one of the regulars. So we appreciate you joining us. Empathy. And I was thinking about this. See, unfortunately, Chicago Bears, what's the motherfucking deal, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. I hope everything is well. Empathy. Let's talk about it. And empathy, let's get some proper descriptions, because I want to talk about empathy versus sympathy, ethics versus morals. I'm going to learn English. So the definition of empathy is understanding what others are feeling because you have experienced it yourself or can put yourself in their shoes. These are layman's terms, I'm assuming. Sympathy, acknowledging another person's emotional hardships and providing comfort and assurance. So empathy is to me more intense. Sympathy is more so understanding. Okay, now let's talk about ethics versus morals, and then we're going to get into the next conversation. Ethics, the rules of conduct recognized in a respect to a particular class of human actions or a particular group or culture. We have ethics in the den, and unfortunately, we had to act on some of those ethics recently, but we ain't gonna talk about that. I'm gonna let that die eventually, but you know how that is. Morals, principles or habits with respect to right or wrong conduct. While morals also prescribe do's and don'ts, morality is ultimately a personal compass of right and wrong. So morals more of an individual thing. Ethics are more kind of a social structure type deal. So we're going to get into that as we discuss this conversation, right? Empathy, sympathy. And the reason I wanted to talk about this tonight is because a video of mine that I did about a month or so ago has recently been getting a little bit of traction. Not just blowing up or anything, but it kind of got reboosted, if you will. And what I mean by that is I had a video called Transgender Fender Bender. And it was about Malaysia Booker in Dallas, a transgender who basically got stomped pretty badly. You know, I don't know the full details of the situation. It was a hit and run, then a group formed, then there was a group beatdown that took place with that, right? Unfortunately, Malaysia Booker was killed. I want to say, I don't know if it was yesterday or about a day or so ago. And so that video has been getting some new looks, if you will, some new views. And just some of the response to it, to me, is baffling. One, apparently people don't check dates. I don't know. And I've had people threaten me. I don't give a shit. If you really want this smoke, come get it. I've had people say certain things. They're mad about my opinion, so they question my appearance. I don't give a fuck. Especially I don't give a fuck if it's a dude telling me. I don't give a fuck about nobody telling me what they think about how I look, but especially some dude. Why would I give a fuck if a dude thinks I'm ugly? Anyway, instead of providing valid arguments, I am sympathetic to this person's plight. And what I mean by that is that they have been killed. I don't know what they did. Now, there's a few instances where it is justified. But because I don't agree necessarily with their lifestyle, doesn't mean that I feel like they should be killed off. And I guess because most people probably think like that, because, if this person doesn't like me, they hate me. I don't hate anybody. I have no hate for anyone. I may disapprove of your behaviors. I may disapprove of the way you do certain things. I don't hate anybody. I sincerely, genuinely try to have at least some level of love for everyone. Now, certain people I don't really care for too much, but I still don't even wish ill upon them. And anyway, so that kind of just made me think about it. How am I being viewed as, evil and all these other things? And so I just kind of wanted to talk about the comparison between these things, look at this society, what's right and wrong in these beliefs and these behaviors. So let's kind of just get into it. Baker, man, what's the motherfucking deal? Only one lie. Good to see you, as always. And Heidi, the least empathetic person I know. So, it's Joe's House Mayo. I gotta ban this all too. But anyway, my thing is, let's fire it up. I might end up talking shit before the night is over with. My thing is this, man. I think empathy is necessary to an extent. I can disregard you. I can disapprove. I can disassociate and still have, let's say, sympathy. Because I can't put myself in a transgender person situation, so I can't be empathetic from personal experience. But again, I don't think people should just go out beating on them, and I don't think that happens like people try to say it does. I don't think people should go out, attacking them and doing all that other stuff. Let them have their own lane, but the lane is not the same as, the lane of others. It's not. There's people politically don't agree with. We talk a lot in here about certain black issues that I disapprove of. I think that gang culture or a lot of this rap culture and all this other stuff is becoming detrimental. It's not becoming. It's been detrimental on the black community. Now, do I say I've cut out a significant chunk of it? I can't lie. Though every now and then, maybe once a week, I may listen to a little bit of rap music. And, if I'm working on something and it's not something I necessarily need to pay attention to, just some, something, a soundtrack in the background, I will cut it on. It may come on my playlist. Just a black and mild. I'm still reefer free, but I need to be black and mild free again. I said I was gonna stop, but there's been some shit on my mind lately. And I agree with what Baker Man just said. There is an emotional detachment. I have to operate, I think, more so from my own personal morals. In certain things I just don't agree with, and I'm not going to compromise those for other people's beliefs. And I think that's the problem that we have now. Everybody feels like everyone has to be accepted. Man, this is so far off topic, but I have to, the damn we don't understand. I'm going to come back to it. Have y'all seen that fucking Burger King commercial? Man, that fucking shit pissed me the fuck off. Because again, we're encouraging a poor mentality. The Burger King and what they're doing basically is they're exploiting. I feel like they're exploiting mental illness. I feel like they're exploiting weak behaviors. It's like it's a couple of little weird things happening. A guy, somebody, I got ghosted again, and a bunch of sad people on this commercial, right? No, I haven't seen the milkshake thing. I heard about the milkshake thing, but I haven't seen it. Or somewhat heard about the milkshake thing. But basically, it's a bunch of these people who are going through these little depressed type issues. And now they talking about we got the emotional meal or something like that. And it's different boxes. The Yas, that goddamn Yas shit. I hate that shit. I'm gonna talk about motherfuckers. I might end up going in before the night is over with. I've been trying to be cool, but the Yas meal, the sad meal, or all this other fucking shit. So the boxes have different expressions on them. Foods for every mood type shit. And I just happened to see it today. And look, you ain't missing out on anything. But it's like a guy, he's upset because I guess a girl didn't call him back. And then some kid who's upset because I got student loans. They're gonna last forever. I'm gonna live with my parents forever. And he's sitting next to his dad on the couch in his robe. And some chick walks to her locker in school and it says skank on her locker. And they're all just, let me be in my mood. Don't tell me I need to feel better or some shit. Like they're singing this little corny song. Some chick coming out of work, I just told my boss to fuck off, and all that shit, man, let me tell you. Let me tell you about it. But like all kind of little shit. So it's like a bunch of people in bad moods. And it's just, if you're in a bad mood, we got the food for every emotion type shit. And there's your class for the day. And I'm just like, wow. People are celebrating this, right? People are celebrating this. Don't realize they're being pandered to. Because again, this generation is more depressed than ever. All of the social media, we talked about Photoshop, we talked about all this other stuff. That is something I'm not empathetic or sympathetic to. Okay? That's certain shit I'm just not. Look, man, if you have mental issues, guess what? It's your job to fix it. It's unfortunate that a lot of people deal with stuff, but if you just sit there and wallow in it and don't make an attempt to do better, if you don't make an attempt to improve your situation, then I can't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't give a fuck. If you don't want to do better for yourself, why the fuck should I overexert myself to try to do better for you? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, exactly. That's all exactly what it is. And so you have a lot of people, let's be honest, like Baker Man said, a lot of emotional eaters. And because I wanted to do a video on this thing, I'm still having an issue with my damn fucking damn Premiere Pro. I uninstalled, reinstalled. I've been cleared everything out, cleaned the registry, did everything. It's just not cooperating with me. But my thing is, okay. my thing is, you cannot promote this stuff. Yeah, I'm wondering what the hell I don't know what you got going on. Yes, no. You get a brick. Steph Curry missed dunk on that one. But that was exploiting the shit. But now, what you have after that is, Robert Smith and this whole situation where people were, what he did wasn't even a big deal. This man is going to be paying from $10 to $40 million in those Morehouse student loans that he's clearing up. And you have people who are saying, oh, well, he's a billionaire. What he's doing is not that big of a deal. It's not that important. Anytime anybody donates money to anything, it's important. But these are the same people, they're not going out, and we're not, it still wasn't good, Heidi. Not good. Steph Curry missed dunk. Seth Curry steal. The bare minimum he should do, right? Dreamer, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What's going down with you? Good to see you, man. It's been a minute. But my thing is this man ain't got to do shit for nobody. He was there to give a commencement speech. But yet you have these same people who are going to go eat these fucking Burger King meals that are going to go and condemn this man. We have a problem in this country. We have a problem in this country. I don't know if it's because, I be lurking on Black Twitter or whatever they call it, but it's not even just Black Twitter. It's like super liberal Twitter now. And it's like motherfuckers hate rich people. We talked about this last night. Unless you came up in entertainment, motherfuckers hate rich people. And my belief is that if you hate a rich person, it's because you've already consigned to the fact that you'll never be rich. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that until I die. I don't care if I'm 80 years old. I will be well off, one way or another. My thing is this: you got to stay off social. Social media is poison. But it's like I have to, but I don't. Because see, if I don't start improving my social media status, Heidi will make fun of me and talk about your Den and your small sports. They don't have enough followers. You're a loser. You'll never make it. Houston hates you. Heidi tells me these things. Heidi's a very bad person. Man, it's tough. Hey, Miss Rashida, what's the motherfucking deal? But yeah, and that's the thing. Look, the exactly one that you said is bad mouthing Mr. Smith. They're like the bitch in the fucking Waffle House, who old buddy killed the other dude because she didn't get her meal paid. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You meet Tree Fitty. But my thing is that, let me get back to sympathy, morals, and ethics and things like that. How can we describe the morals of these people? Selfish? Are they envious, jealous? I don't understand that. They're not ethically sound. They, generosity, charity, or whatever you want to call it. And I don't even look at that as charity. I wouldn't call that charity. I don't even know how you would identify that, because that's just a kind gesture. Well, I guess gesture. I guess that you would call. I guess that's what charity is. I don't fucking know. But you have these people who are entitled, and that's just it. Their morals are entitlement. That's all it is. Give me, give me, give me. I deserve. You have something I want. It's not fair for me. And it's like, come on, man. Okay, bet. And I don't understand that, man. You got to feel like, you got to understand there is no pleasure in being given. There is pleasure. There is, education. There is a sense of pride when you earn, when you create, when you build, when you grow. We look at a lot of things and we believe in these overnight successes. There is no overnight success. An overnight success is just the accumulation of all this hard work and effort finally popping off. You know what I mean? Just finally, everything finally comes together. All of that preparation meets that opportunity, and that person goes full speed ahead at that opportunity. and they build and they grow and they kind of blow up. But again, we have this society that lacks empathy. The same crew of people who are talking about I'm lacking empathy because I'm not groveling at the feet of the LGBT community, which I will never do. I don't hate them. I don't wish death upon them. I just don't agree with their lifestyle. I don't agree with the majority of their behaviors. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, what you have to understand is this envy. I think it creates like a hole in their souls. This anger, this victimhood, you know what I'm saying? This sense of weakness. It makes them feel that there should be a handicap for them. And I don't, I just can't buy into that, man. I can't buy into the weak mentality. I fuck with go-getters. I fuck with people who want something. I fuck with people who are willing to overcome challenges to get there. I cannot fuck with the woe is me, let me cry about everything, let me cry until I get my way, the daycare generation. And that's what you have a lot of. Money doesn't buy happiness. You say rich people don't come to my hood or hurt, rich people are miserable because everyone is out to use them over. And I agree with that. And that's the thing about being rich. You can't trust people. That's why people get upset, but I can't blame rich people for only hanging out with other rich people. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, hang out with motherfuckers that got more money than you. They gonna try to get you for a couple of your bucks, but shit, at least you know what it is. At least you know what it like. And that's the mentality that people have. Well, I only like you because you should be giving me money. A lot of people had no idea who Robert Smith was until yesterday. Black people, at least, had no idea who the fuck he was. Why? Because we sit here and we believe the bullshit about, everybody black is suffering and poor and broke and all this stuff. There are a lot of well off. Only fucking billionaire niggas knew Oprah, anybody close, Puff Daddy, Jay-Z. They knew about all these motherfuckers. And then out of nowhere, they just, there's another black billionaire in America? Whoa, where? Because then he started off in finance, didn't he? Or either he started off in tech and went to finance, or he started off in finance and moved to tech. I can't remember which. Because it was, like I said, it was about almost 2 years ago when I first heard about it. Finance, okay. And so, because I know he's out of Denver, and he used to he does a bunch of stuff. He takes like a lot of kids from the inner city, and he takes them out to, he has like a summer program where he takes them out to like, I guess the more wooded areas of Colorado. He, helps them to do a whole bunch of shit, just kind of get out of the city and just learn some other stuff. But, nobody's ever heard of him. Why? Because he don't rap. Maybe he needs to start making some rap songs, right? So he can become popular. If he rapped, then everybody would be all on it. But there's a lot of wealthy people, you know what I'm saying? And people don't pay any attention because it's not entertaining. And then you've never supported this person again, never heard of this motherfucker, never gave a fuck about him. And then you find out, there's a black guy, he owes us something. For what? This nigga didn't come up off of you, especially if you're in finances. He definitely didn't come up off of you. But yet this motherfucker owes you something. Exactly, because he's not with a black woman, the Chameleon. But do niggas really rock with Chameleon like that? It's some local Houston folks. Shaq Cook about the only nigga I know fuck with him, super tough, right? But this man got out of rapping and really blew up and was really making some solid gains. But nobody cares, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. So for people like that, I don't have empathy because I can't relate to them. I don't feel sorry for them. If you suffer, it's because you choose to engage in habits that make you suffer. You continue to embrace that feeling. You continue to look forward to the feeling of woe is me. You continue to look forward to the feeling of I'm oppressed. You buy into that. It's so easy to change your mentality. It's so easy to change your mentality like that. Make a decision. You know what I'm saying? Make a decision and decide. I'm no longer subscribing to the belief that everything bad is happening to me. There's a lot of people out there suffering, man. I look at a lot of motivational shit. And I'm hard on myself because I should be doing so much better. My timing is my problem. And that's why I said I'm starting being more concrete on the 2-hour show. So I started actually taking myself to bed and getting up early and do what I gotta do. Because I ain't gonna lie, I ain't really fucking with the mixers on the late nights because I'll be fucking up my whole sleep pattern. But my biggest issue, and I try to pinpoint where I fuck up, and my biggest issue is the schedule and, proper sleep. Outside of that, it is what it is. But the thing about this is, I think that you can stand firm in your own beliefs, which is your morals. And sometimes your morals supersede ethics, which is the way society says that you should feel. Sometimes they can be one and the same. Some people adopt their morals from their ethics. I think that you can be against someone, be sympathetic to their cause. I think that you can come from a place where you're no longer suffering from the same situation as you once did and still be empathetic to other people's problems. But that doesn't mean that you have to put yourself into them shoes. You don't have to put yourself all the way back into their position. Because you have a lot of people who end up doing well for themselves and they start feeling guilt. They feel guilt towards where they came from because other people are still there. Instead of embracing the fact that they did what they had to do to get out. Sean, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. I know I seen that boy Brody in here, man. Be for real, what's the motherfucking deal? Most people don't really look for attention. Yeah, and that's the thing. But, people who are not as well off feel like they owe them something. For what? For what? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I don't understand. Shaolin, what's the motherfucking deal, man? And that's just my deal. It's like, to me, those people are lacking morals. They don't want to subscribe to society's ethics. They want to create this whole different, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it, because I wouldn't say I'm anti-establishment. I just want to build my own lane. That's just kind of how I feel. Like, oh man, what you drinking on, man? Hey, whenever we do get everything together and we have a men's den, real meetup somewhere here in the city, you gotta let me know. I'm gonna reach out to you, Sally, and hopefully you'll be able to join us when we do that. But the guilt that they feel is for themselves, but I guess they don't have a real understanding of how to process their emotions. You know what I'm saying? And you have a lot of people who can't process those emotions. And so it turns into blame, or it turns into something else. So I was given an unfair hand. I was given, I was fucked over. We talked about mood turning into personality. It's a set of transitions. So when you have a bad event happens and you kind of feel bad about it, or you have a bad feeling about it, and then you kind of let it linger for a little bit, it becomes a mood, then it becomes I forgot what the next phase is, but eventually it becomes your personality when you wallow in something too long. You can always trace a person's personality, if they're negative, back to one event, usually that took place in their childhood. Or if a person that you knew as an adult has just completely transitioned, you can trace it to a specific event where they allowed that feeling that they had from that event to linger within them for so long that they became this completely different personality. That's kind of how it works. You have people who, something happened in college and dropped out and so, now I'm this because of this, because of this one thing that happened. They view themselves as this one way forever. The next thing you know, years pass by and they haven't built anything, they haven't created, they haven't done anything better because they feel like that one incident laid such a significant impact on their lives that they can't change from that. You have people who fail at something and never try again, and they view themselves as a failure for life. They don't put forth the effort to try to overcome that. They don't try again and succeed at the next thing. They always feel like that one big failure they had, and that's how they identify. A bad relationship, then they don't ever want to get another relationship again. They feel like, that was it. I can't do it again. Life is about resilience. Life is about overcoming obstacles. Life is about learning from failure. But we have so many people now who don't want to do that. And I think that all comes from the daycare generation. This all comes from the everybody's a winner, everybody's a champion generation. And then when they realize, well, hey, when I was in YMCA basketball, we were all winners. They said everybody's a champion. And when I got in the junior high, I couldn't even make the team. I was a champion. What happened? I was a YMCA champ. Professor Trio, what's the motherfucking deal, man? And you know, it's that. Oh, it was the coach, man. He didn't know. Man, parents nowadays don't even want you to tell the kids because, like I said, the little on her team, they got some more crazy stuff going on with the coaches, and so it's like, you know, a parent that'll have to take over. Hey, man, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because let me tell you, y'all not gonna like me because I'm gonna be just as hard on y'all as I am on her. I ain't finna be with that crying shit. I ain't finna be with that upset shit. I don't want to hear none of that bullshit, you know. But we'll keep the conversation going. We're gonna talk about a variety of things. But let's open up the line. Well, I know y'all got some stuff on your mind. I know y'all got some thoughts. What the fuck is going on here? Let's see, babe. Doobly doo. Let me open up the den line. You say everybody plays the fool? Yeah, everybody plays the fool. That's not a lie. In one way or another, you will play the fool at some point in time in your life. It's about what do you do after that? Do you learn from that experience or do you continue to play the fool? Do you accept the role of the fool or do you know you say, okay, well, I made that mistake once. It ain't gonna happen again, Jack. All right. The den line is open. If you want to call in, 833-284-3336. You know what I'm saying? Again, that number is 833-284-3336. So if you got something you want to call in and share this evening, I would love to hear it. I'd love to know what's on your mind. So you played the fool many times. Man, look, trusting relationships, that can be that can be extremely difficult. But sometimes you got to keep going until you find the one. I mean, sometimes you got to take a bunch of L's. You got to go through some heartbreak. I know it sounds fucked up, but to find that one that's truly gonna rock with you. But I think you can hedge your bets by paying attention to the signs. You know, to certain things. You know, the thing I feel like with women is they find relationships, they get infatuated, and they're willing to overlook certain things because of their infatuation. And I think you have to be alert. And I think that's where men differ. Because I like to feel like you got to, well, no, I won't say men differ because men get a little piece of ass and, you know, don't let it be in a drought. That's the best thing happening for them in a long time. They fall in love or let her do something strange to you. It's over with. But, you know, let me do something. Let me see something here. That's what I meant to do while I'm dilly-dallying. But again, like I said, yeah, the microwave want it right now generation. But what Robert Smith did, man, and just kind of diving back into that, man, gotta respect it. Gotta respect it because what he did, you know, and they say the school didn't even know that he was doing it. You know, he just said it when he was up there. Edwin, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Footballer 503, what's the motherfucking deal? You know, he's setting a lot of people off in a good position. There was a guy who was talking about he had made a spreadsheet about how he was going to have to pay his, you know, loans off for the next 25 years. And that's paying the bare minimum. You know, a lot of people go and get degrees in fields that may not really be that lucrative. And so, of course, that's their choice. You know, whatever it is unfortunate. But, you know, this is what they wanted to do. Now he's giving these people a solid foundation. Of these 400 individuals, none of them should have an excuse to not be successful. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, that's my thing right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying Discord available. But yeah, the Discord chat is available through the Patreon. I think it's only $5 tier. And yeah, we gotta get some folks in there. I know, like I said, we have a couple of Patreon supporters, but I don't know if they use Discord. If not, if that's so, they need to hit me up. It should send you the link automatically when you go through Patreon. But again, like I say, you say you spend a lot of time, and I can understand that. I can understand that because the more time you spend with somebody, the more you're gonna grow towards them, I guess you could say. But again, you just gotta look for the little things. You gotta listen to the words. Women like to be sugar coated. Women like to be told all those sweet nothings, all those la-las. They only get one lie. Only one lie from me. Nah, it's a joke. But my thing is this though, you have to really pay more attention to the behavior. You have to pay more attention to what is being said. I know y'all niggas like, Honcho, shut the fuck up, you're giving up the game. You know what I'm saying? No, there is no game. If Houston is not involved, there is no game, and the Astros game is over, so there is no game to watch for me. But, empathy and sympathy, I think that could be a thing in relationships too. Depending on what position you're in your relationship, depending on what position the guy's in, and you may feel like, oh, this guy, he's been treated wrong, oh man, I feel, and man, look, I already know that's a tough deal right there. That's a tough deal, and man, I got a question for you, man, and if you don't mind me, being too personal, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel that time changed you from who you were before you went in to who you were when you came out? Because like I said, I feel like, we talk about, in this country, we talk about, it's rehabilitation and all. It's not rehabilitation. To me, it's strengthening. It's teaching you how to be harder. It's teaching you how to deal with more things that that most people can't fucking deal with. You know what I'm saying? It's teaching you how to, let me see. Let me put the number up there perfect next to the other one that way so y'all know it's open. Man, I don't know about that Miss Bell shit. Cause I'm not I won't say I'm stingy with my compliments, but I'm not, I just don't be overly lavish with them. And I've had situations in the past where your chick would be like, because you ain't tell me this and you ain't tell me that and you ain't tell me this and tell me that. And I'm just like, well, don't mean I don't feel with it. I don't feel that way. Don't mean, I just don't say it every fucking day. I think that shit to me I think it means more when I do say it as opposed to me just saying some shit every day. I think it means more when I do something special to go out of my way than doing it every day. You know what I'm saying? And so, I agree. It's a fucked up situation. I understand why it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this. What's crazy about it is you catch a felony. Oh, it's a wrap for quite some time. Had to deal with some shit, and I remember I was on a job hunt, man, and it was an old menial ass fucking truck loading job. And these motherfuckers told me I had to sit out this was just because I was on papers, but I was on felony probation for some shit, and they're like, well, you gotta wait, till your probation period is over with, and then an additional 7 years after that before you can come back and apply for this job. I'm like, well, goddamn. So you telling me I gotta wait 11 years to come back and apply for this job at that point? I'm like, wow, And I can understand why people go back to doing the shit that they were doing. I can understand why, yeah, okay, okay. And that's what I say, man. It's just, it's so I understand, like, for many, like, barely over minimum wage, it wasn't even, that much. And so my thing is, I'm telling you, it's just, it's fucked up. And I understand it because, there's a lot of folks who, they go get into a situation, they go do their time, and you get done with it, and you still have so many restrictions, you know. Um, you gotta, you go through so much bullshit, and it's like, about how it's so much bullshit, man. It's just it's so much terrible shit that happens with that shit. You lose rights. They still expect you to contribute to society, but you lose a lot of rights. And again, it is what it is. You choose those activities. You got to pay your dues. That's just kind of how it works. But it can put you in a fucked up position to where jobs don't want to deal with you. It was a job, a little contracting gig I went out on. It was up in North Texas, and this is why I say this is why I was dealing with all this shit. First you gotta go in, you gotta tell your PO all this shit. Hey, like I had to beg to go to the job. I'm talking about it was like, y'all don't understand, man. Like that's why I say now that's why I become more empathetic to these type of situations after experiencing some of this shit myself. I understand why motherfuckers go back. I don't justify it. It's tough, but I understand. Like I understand, man. You gotta eat. You gotta feed your family. You gotta do something. And the doors aren't always open. Sometimes you gotta create a door. You feel me? And so I had to beg to fucking basically go out to the job had hired me, but they wanted it on this certain, letterhead and all this other stuff. I done brought all the paperwork saying I'm hired, I gotta go here to go here, and they gotta send information to the courts, they gotta do all these things. And then, you gotta get approval to go. After all of that, I get the approval finally to go. Get up there, and the plant, I want to say it was a Phillips plant. And I go up there to take my site specifics for that specific place. And they're like, oh, we ain't got you in the system. It's like, what you mean we ain't got you in the system? And came up all the way, just fucking drove 10 hours up here, and all this other shit to get up here. And, I'm up there already. Then the fucking job calls and say, oh man, I meant to, let you know last night that it was an issue with this, that, and the third because the plant, they're not gonna let you in. Now, this was on the strength of somebody, vouched for me to get on with this gig and everything else. Who was the foreman on the job. He knew my work ethic. He knew that shit. I don't play around when it comes to work. I'm gonna put in the work. And I was up there for about a week trying to circumvent the situation, trying to find a way to get in that bitch. You had motherfuckers up there working on armed robbery charges. You had motherfuckers up there working with a nigga who had a murder charge. Working. Now, some other folks who were on, government babysitting. And I'm just like, dog, I did some shit, but this what I got caught up for was not that detrimental, it seems, but because they have tiers of, it was like a numeric system of how bad it was. And I was like, I think it was up to like 5, and I was like a 5. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wow. It's just like, wow, man. It's a lot of motherfuckers who really want to do well. A lot of motherfuckers who really try to say, hey, I fucked up. Let me get my shit together. Let me give it all I got. So I stayed up there for about a week, ended up, catching a flight back home and just saying, because I wasn't going to get in on that bitch. So I ended up, spending a bunch of money I really ain't have at that point because I wasn't working and never getting in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? And it was fucked up. It wasn't the first time. It wasn't the only time. There was a lot of several situations. But then when I get back, I go report now and I tell them what's going on. Hey, this, and this. Oh, okay, well, you're not allowed to travel out of town again because, you didn't do this. I'm like, but y'all realize, hold on, we got a call coming in. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
Hey, this is Sean.
Miss Sean, how you doing this evening?
Okay, I hope everybody can hear me. Empathy and ethics. I I'm listening. It seems like, stuff is going around, but somebody said something about a fool, a FOOL.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to say about a fool is that we're all foolish at one time or another in our lives, and it's nothing to be embarrassed about or nothing to be shamed about, because you only need to be ashamed about being a fool if somebody fooled you twice. You heard about the saying. It says, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me."
Absolutely.
Okay? So what I want to say, and I'm just kind of pinging off of that because that's all, I'm back and forth and chatting and all that and picking up stuff. What I want to say is that the fool is only a state of mind. Okay? You control your destiny. You control your future. You even control your happiness in relationships. You can be foolery, fuckery in the relationship. You could be foolery and fuckery on the job. It crosses all gamuts of life, all activities of life, all people's activities. Job, relationship, um, anything. But what I think, and I'm sharing what I think will help. Don't worry about being a fool as long as you don't continue to be a fucking fool. So when you continue to be a fool, then that's a problem. But being a fool is only a state of mind, and you have to focus on changing your mindset. Okay, because you can control a lot of things in life, and this is our problem. We think that we don't have any control. You can control your happiness. You don't have to continue to be a fool. Control your happiness. Own it. And if somebody is not bringing you what you need in your individual self and where you are in your individual space, then you need to reject that. You have power and you have control in all ethics and everything related to, relationships and everything else. So the next thing is, trying to see, empathy and ethics. So let that be your ethics. Create your own ethics. Understand ethics. Let that be your ethical rule to rule your life. And empathize with it. But empathize with it towards yourself. So my empathy is towards myself and towards my ethics and towards my standards. So I have my ethical standards. I empathize towards my standards. And part of my standards is making decisions to, be happy and making decisions to advance myself, my family, my friends, the people that I trust, love, and believe. So use that as a baseline. Use that as a baseline. Anything else, ain't no good. Let it go. And it was something that I need to share with you guys. Somebody shared it with me from a personal. I'm not going to get too much into my personal, but they shared it with me, and I'm going to share it with you guys. And I think that it's somewhat related to empathy and ethics and what you do, how far you go with some person, how far do you go with the individual, how much do you give, what does it take, what is appropriate, what is love, what isn't love. And this saying that they gave me. I actually got this tonight in my own, one of my mentors. You know, Sean also got a mentor, okay? So I don't know everything, but what he told me today in a conversation, and I wrote it down. He took it from the Bible, Proverbs, and I'm not a Bible thumper. I'll let everybody know that. I believe in the Bible, believe in the Most High, but all this Bible thumping and people hiding behind the Bible, I got a whole lot of hell for them type of folks, because they Bible thumping and they not doing nothing Christian like, okay? But this I needed to take, and what he told me today as my mentor, and I'm still learning, and I'm going to give it to you just like he gave it to me. He said, Sean, he said, if you give them too much rope, they will hang themselves. And he took that out of the book of Proverbs. So take that in everybody's individual lives. And if you're a giving person like I am, and that's why he had to give me that word. He says, if you give them too much rope, I'm going to repeat, if you give them too much rope, they will hang themselves. So think of that in your own individual life and how you can place those words in your life and what you're doing with empathy and what you're doing in ethics. Okay? And I think it will fit in some kind of way individually. But it fit in for me. And I have to, sometimes people got to anchor you. You got to get anchored in your focus. And it was very, very important, and I appreciated that. And I said, you know, I'm giving too many motherfuckers too much rope. And I'm giving too many people empathy. So I'm tying it into the conversation. Sometimes it is okay to say no. Sometimes it is okay to say I can't do it.
Yeah, no,
sometimes it is okay to say it's too much. So empathy is good, but if you got too much damn empathy, like that proverb that he hit me with today, you giving too much rope, it's okay. It's not a bad thing. Because sometimes you got to cut the bullshit to advance. And that's what I want to drop on the den, on the empathy tip. And I wanted to bring in that Bible verse coming out of Proverbs. Give them too much rope and they will hang themselves. So you can't, not unless you some narcissistic, homicidal murderer. Are you a murderer? Are you going to give people so much rope where they can hang themselves? Is that what you about? No. Think about that. Don't give them that rope, because you may be contributing to their own death. Don't give a rope. They got to live. And there's another one. I may be all wrong, but something about teaching a man how to fish.
Yeah.
You don't give him fish. You teach him how to fish. Mm-hmm. And then he will be great and be bountiful for his family. So these are the kind of things that are important in terms of this empathy, because too much empathy and sympathy can be, somebody great, to be honest. Yeah. I got a little bit of empathy and I got a whole lot of it. But I ain't got a whole, not too much of it. Mm-hmm. Balance that shit out. Because you give people too much rope, they going to hang themselves. They going to try to hang you too. They're going to try to hang you too.
Yeah, and I agree with you with what you're saying, because the thing is, especially if you make a habit of doing too much for someone, then the time, like you said, when you can't do it or you say no, then it's almost like they turn on you. They forget all the times that you did do the things. They forget all the times that you did help them out of situations. And it'll be that one time that you say no or can't come through for them. They'll weigh heavily on that and, fail to acknowledge all the others that you've done for them,
Honcho, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell the den folks, because I love y'all. I'm going to give y'all my experience. I learned something a long time ago, and I want everybody to listen to me. It's called the power of no. The power of no. It's very powerful. And think about that. Let it set in. In other words, I don't care what situation you are in. You have the power to say no. You don't have to be yes man or yes woman or yes anything. You don't have to be the yes, yes, yes person. You don't have to please everybody in all times, in all things, in all circumstances, in all situations. No. If you really love yourself and if you want to control your own destiny, you have to be able and to be comfortable with saying no. I love the word no. I ain't got no problems with it. Coming in, you wonder the empty the no. Come here with this one, this, that, and the third, the second, the fifth, the fourth. No. I don't have no problems with that. I mastered that. I have no problems with telling you no if I have to. And that's something that simple. A lot of people have a problem with saying no. Master that, and you will control your life, and you will control your destiny, and you will be a lot more happy, and you will make more healthy decisions if you understand how to say no. And that just simply means it's a confidence thing. Don't let anybody push you into anything that you don't want to partake in. Learn how to say no and be confident in that. It's a very simple thing. If you master that, and I love it to death, I don't have no problem. I tell people no all the time. No, I tell them, hell no. I love it because it's my own individual power. I rule myself. I have my integrity. I have what I believe in. I have the things that I partake in and that I participate in. And you're not going to lure me into something that is outside of what I've learned in my life to be balance, love, light, and integrity. And if you try to do that, guess what I'm going to tell you, Honcho?
And with that no.
No! And a hell no if I got to. And that's all I got to say, baby. Love you.
Miss Sunshine, I love you too. I appreciate you calling in and sharing that with us.
Okay, babe. Bye-bye.
You have a good evening. Shout out to Miss Sunshine. Man, I'm finna show y'all something. Shout out to Miss Sheeta. She just sent me, and this shit makes me sick. And I'm finna show y'all exactly the type of mentality that this generation has. And I know some of y'all like, hey, don't blame it all on this generation. Some of us different. Oh, we got a call. Come here, we're gonna take this call. I apologize for your ears. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey, what's up, man? It's Ferocious.
Ferocious. What's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind this evening, Ferocious?
Man, look, I'm gonna need your help a little bit to get me started because I kind of lost train of thought while I was listening. I had to go to the store and get something to drink and stuff.
Okay.
But I remember you were saying something about how people complaining and
it's a little hard. It's like it sounds kind of windy on you, and I don't know if it's a breeze or what's going on. It sounds like I couldn't hear exactly everything you were saying. It was like a little breezy there.
Yeah, you were saying something about people complaining and you fuck with people that keep you going forward, and you remember what you were talking about? You were saying
Yeah, we kind of because it was branching off of the Robert Smith deal, the guy who paid the tuition for everybody for the student loans and everything. And so I was saying that when you keep fucking with people who are always negative, when you keep fucking with people who complain about everything, you become that. The old saying is that it's the five fingers thing. You're a product of the five people that you hang around the most. So you use your hand to represent that. You're the palm, but you got a lot of people now who are depressed about everything. They look for every excuse as to why they cannot achieve, why they can't succeed. And if you hang around people like that, they'll infiltrate your mind, man, and they'll undermine your own will and ambition because they'll try to bring you down with them.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I thought you were saying something different. You said something about we can't be focusing on our problems from the past.
Yeah.
Like,
Along the lines of what I'm saying, like about the mood, where like if you focus on one particular mood, it can become your personality. I know I was kind of talking about that. Like I said, if you let one thing adjust your mood, if you stay in a mood long enough, there's processes, but eventually becomes your personality if you stay in a particular mood, for too long. And then if you focusing on the things that one failure you may have had, and then that becomes you, or that one time that you thought you were this, and you meet one obstacle that kind of hindered you, and instead of trying to overcome it, you let that define you. You feel like you're a loser or a failure or something like that along those lines somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't catch everything that. Like I said, I had to go to the store, but I caught a little bit before you. Before I took off. Okay. What I wanted to say was that, in this world, in this society that we live in, we're constantly. It's about profit. It's about profit. It's about going forward, making money, getting more, getting ahead in life, getting ahead. And then people are listening and saying, what's wrong with this? Why are people like this? Why don't people care that people don't have empathy? Well, a lot of it has to do with that kind of thought process because people want to blame the government, saying that like the government should try to fix society. But if you really pay attention, the government has been trying to do all kinds of experiments and stuff to fuck with society. But the thing is, we are the ones creating our problems. And why do our problems keep cycling over and over and over? As somebody who gets abused when they're 3 years old, 5 years old, 9 years old, now you're 30, you're 35, 40, and your kids is doing it, and you wondering, why is this like that? Why is this? The reason it's like that is because some people, I'm not saying all people, their thought process is just get money. And that's all they're telling their children. That's it. They're not telling their children, personal life experiences. I don't blame them. They're not telling their children what happened to them when they were kids and stuff like that. But the thing is, it's going to keep going on because nobody wants to focus on fixing that. Everybody wants to say, keep chasing. Well, yeah, I understand. I'm not saying don't chase. Yeah, I understand, money pays bills and shit like that. You got, everybody got to get money, yeah. But you're putting money on a higher priority than you are these people that are going to be integrated into society, which are your children. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know a lot of people want to be on this self-improvement, self-empowerment shit, but the thing is, when you're on that shit, when you're on that self-improvement, self-empowerment shit, you're directing that towards money and moving forward. But money is not everything. That's wealth. You could be wealthy, yeah, that's fine. But you could be a wealthy man and not be rich. See me, I'm not wealthy. I'm not a wealthy man, but I'm rich. I have a beautiful family. I have a beautiful child. I got problems, but these problems are created because the priority of society is to chase the money. You got to go and get a 9 to 5. Then you got to get a second job. You don't even know who's watching your kids at night. Now your babysitter done called in. You already told your boss you were coming in. You got to find another babysitter. Now you're over here passing your kids out to somebody you don't even know.
Yeah.
That's the kind of things that we should be working on in society. That's the kind of things we should be empathetic. You should be empathetic towards yourself and the experiences you had as a child, because you're just setting the future up to go through that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I know it's this street code of not snitching. Yeah, I mean, I've been in that situation where you don't, you get caught with something, you get caught with a little bit of weed or something. They cops want you to give a name, and no, I'm not gonna give a name. I'm not saying you to snitch in that situation, but if you see somebody abusing a child, if you see somebody doing something wrong, immoral like that, that's the part of the code we need to change as a low income, down here at the bottom. Mm-hmm. We need to be working on ourselves. We need to be working on ourselves as a whole. I mean, yeah, I understand this is a black channel and everything.
Damn it, Ferocious Maria, it ain't no damn black channel. This is a diverse channel, damn it. Everybody is welcome. Everybody's opinions are welcome.
Okay.
So it's not.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I understand that. Yeah, okay, it's diverse channel. And okay. Great. That's why the kind of thinking I'm trying to come from. Is that this is it's not ethnic problem thing. This is going on in every different ethnicity all over the world. And the thing is, it's our priorities is messed up. You understand what I'm saying? You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah, and that we need to be empathetic towards ourselves. If you don't have empathy towards yourself, this happened to you when you was a child. Then you grow up, you tell your kids, all you gotta do is get money. Don't worry about nothing else. Just get the money. Get the money. Okay. But then when you become a grandparent and you see your child doing the same thing to your grandchild, you're gonna be telling yourself that's so messed up. And you're gonna be trying to pass money to your grandchild, and your child's gonna be mad at you because you're giving money to the grandchild. You feeling empathetic towards the grandchild. What you should have been doing from the get-go was feeling empathetic towards yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to speak on.
Okay. So would you say that though, but an overall, and when I mean impoverished, like you said, you're rich because you have a good family, you got things going on, you're happy with what you got going on. I want to use it in that same way. But would you say in other aspects that so many of us have an impoverished mentality and that we feel like we're lacking so much that can only be replaced by material shit? Do we invest too heavily in materialism instead of being more focused on that?
That's exactly what it is, and they will replacing love with money, and then the society, the whole society is on some shit where it's like we're so full of ourselves now. We can't even. People, you go to the store and you see a girl and she's looking at you. You be like, man, I pull hoes. Well, I got something to tell you. Everybody knows somebody that's been raped. Do you understand how big, on a massive scale, that is? If everybody knows somebody that's been raped, now if these girls have been raped, they're gonna be looking at you because they're promiscuous.
No.
So you ain't doing nothing. You think you're doing something because you could pull a girl that's been abused? That ain't shit. Now, if you go now, what you were saying about rich people hanging out with other rich people, right? Mm-hmm. If you were coming from a low income, you poverty stricken, and you pull somebody, you see a rich girl, you could pull that girl who's probably, rich people don't really got too many problems. Yeah, they got problems. I'm not saying they don't have problems, but they don't got too many problems like us down here. If you could pull a rich girl, you got some game. I'll give you that. Because most likely, she didn't go through a whole bunch of stuff growing up. But, I mean, if you go to the store, you see just a fine-ass random girl or a group of girls, you ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? You just... You know what? I'm gonna just stop right there and let everybody dwell on it because I don't want to get too deep in it. I know I'm taking up a lot of time. People want to call in and everything. But I just wanted to touch bases on that. Whenever another topic comes up, that's more on along the lines of what your topic is, and then I'll speak on it some more. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Okay. Be empathetic towards yourselves.
Okay. Now I understand where you're coming from, man. I appreciate that, Ferocious.
All right, man.
All right, here we go. Shout out to Ferocious. I get where you're coming from, though. You know, and my thing is though, because I guess maybe the stuff that I be on, so the stuff I listen to, and I know he's talking about, getting money. To me, it's not about trying to be the wealthiest motherfucker on the planet. It's about being comfortable so that you can truly enjoy that time and things with your family. You want to give your children better. You want to give your children an opportunity not to go through the things that you've gone through, and open up those doorways, because then, my ears. So that way they don't suffer from that same mentality or some of those same, issues that you went through as a child. So I think that, there's good and bad on both sides. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
Hey man, it's Giant Mess.
Giant Mess, what's the motherfucking deal? What's on your mind this evening?
You were talking about, how people were, always bitching about the rich and everything, and I was thinking about it because, I grew up in a poor house and whatnot, and I was thinking, as I learned more about the business aspect of how things work, I ended up having more respect for people like that more than anything else.
What changed you? Go ahead.
One of the main... Sorry.
No, what changed? Like, what was it that changed was it a specific thing that you came across that changed your perspective on that?
Well, you gotta think that when these people put their money forward, they don't know if there's things are gonna sell or not. They don't know if their company's gonna pop off or become, a wide brand that's used nationwide. A lot of brands, you see now, they might be in just like maybe a couple of stores locally, and so that, that's their epitome of how famous they are within the state maybe, but I think like manufacturers, I think, impress me the most because of just how they have to deal with things. And you gotta understand, like, before products get to like places like Walmart and Target, a lot of these things are built and like packaged at a plant for let's say like Pepsi for one, just to throw one out there. I mean, these are people that have to get the plastic and the ink for the ribbon. They have to make the bottles. They have to buy the ingredients for all of the materials that they use for the pop. And when you think about how much it goes into that aspect of business, you got to think about where that dude had to start from to get that pop to be as famous as it is, to just go, not even to go, multinational, because it's all over the damn place now. And I think a lot of people don't understand that people, when they first created these businesses, a lot of these people maybe didn't have a lot of money to begin with. These people had to save up because they had an idea of what they wanted. And they ran with it. They didn't know if it was going to succeed or fail. If they failed, they could have probably spent years in bankruptcy just from that. I think it's just that kind of mentality that you got to understand from a business aspect. I mean, like Pepsi right now. I mean, when they and a bottle of Pepsi right now, when they send it out to I mean, like they're only getting like maybe 60 cents a bottle.
Yeah.
The store's selling it for another 60 cents plus deposit and tax. So, I mean,
So would you say that people who end up, especially those who start small and that weren't born into wealth, would you say that these people are more risk takers than your average individual who isn't rich?
I think when it comes to rich versus poor, I think it's about the idea, because I mean, like they always talk about how somebody can be in the 1% and then fall out of the 1% and then can go right back into the 1% later on, and then suddenly end up losing a shit ton of money and end up in bankruptcy. So, I mean, you have to take it like that when you really think about it, because it's just, I mean, with business, it's just, it's a shit show, really. When you think about how much, I mean, like, look at Walmart with all the stores that they have open. That's like, including if they own the buildings, that's property tax on all the buildings that they own. That's heating costs, lighting costs, stocking the shelves. That all comes from another manufacturer that they have to get supplies, that they're hoping that they have the supplies to keep working on the things that they're doing. I mean, like Walmart helps even like the people who don't have like factories and things like that. They just have like sitting there in the corner with a knitting needle and shit like that. I've seen things like that in their stores. So, I mean, it really just comes down to what you can really do.
Okay. So, what about you? So, what is that piqued your curiosity? You said, when you kind of started looking into it at a younger age, what was it that piqued your curiosity into, business folks and their habits and the way that they came about?
Well, I think if you're really gonna look at, you gotta look at the habits of, like, say, the lower manufacturers that have to get all the materials, because they have to get all the materials, build the product, and the materials can come from several different companies or several different places. So now you're getting all this materials, then you're having to build it, then you're having to sell it for a low cost just so that the store that you're selling it to can sell it at the price that we get it for. So they're getting cut off. I mean, they're getting cut out pretty much right from the get. Because the stores are paying them at least maybe 1/3, maybe 1/2 of what we would normally pay at the store. So, and plus, a lot of that comes, they still have to pay taxes on all of that. So that's what I was thinking about when that one lady was trying to say 70% tax on 10 million. I'm going, so these manufacturers ain't going to have shit. It's like all of our stuff's going to have to come directly from China and Taiwan and all that stuff, even more so than it is now.
Okay. That's that tax thing. That's a whole different can of worms, and I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think. And we'll talk about that. But is there anything else that you would like to add, John Miss?
No, I was just thinking that, a lot of people, I think the one problem is that I don't think they understand just how much bullshit they actually go through. And I think the other thing is that it's jealousy because of the money that these people have made, but that's still a damn lot of paperwork and a damn lot of stuff that they had to do to get that money.
Yeah. I agree. Have you ever seen it was a series, I want to say it was from the History Channel. Of course, there was some of it was embellished a little bit, some of it, for the views, but it was The Men Who Built America. And it was like, I think about like Ford, Edison, what's his name? Standard Oil. Fuck, I can't think of his name. Can't think of his fucking name. But basically, it intertwined all their lives and how they, Carnegie and somebody else, like how all these guys, basically came about, how they got into the position in which they were in. And of course, it was a much different time, but it's extremely interesting to see how these guys came about their wealth. Rockefeller, there you go. And
Yeah.
but was it Rockefeller? It might have been another. It was somebody else. I can't think of the name, but it might have been Rockefeller. But it was just talking about all these powerful gentlemen who were, especially running the country at that time, the Industrial Revolution, and it's a very good watch. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it for everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. The other thing I'm just gonna say though, sometimes like empathy and ethics can go hand in hand, but I think sometimes you have to go with either one or the other in certain situations. And I understand that sometimes in business, you can sometimes with some of the bad ones, ethics can go out the window, whereas they're dumping shit in the oceans and all that stuff. But I think with empathy, I think you can have empathy, but don't have it too much where you're putting yourself out, because then you're just crushing your own empire from the beginning.
So you think that a company should be built on ethics?
Yeah. Okay. More or less.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a bet. Well, you don't got anything else? I appreciate your call there, Mr. John Mess.
All right. Take care now.
All right, you have a good one. And I think you're starting to see a lot more companies, though, that are trying to be ethically, or have a foundation that's ethically sourced. And brotherly, you're disappointed by my response. Well, there's a prom date somewhere who's disappointed by you and your performance. Now, give me just 1 second. Give me like uno segundo. I know that ain't a thing, but I don't care. I said it. I'll say it again. All right. Well, I have no issue, man. My thing is, I can't hate on ambition because I think it's necessary. If you want to get out of a situation that you're in, and plus, Ambition wasn't a bad song by Wale, with Meek Mill, Wale, and Rick Ross. I'm not even a fan of any of those guys like that, but it was a pretty good song. So, I want to show y'all something real quick. Give me a second, and let me kill this little image here. Now, shout out to Miss Rashida. She sent an image. I see DeMarkey in the house. Shout out to DeMarkey. Sent an image. I was talking about Robert Smith earlier, and I want y'all to see this. And let me know, I don't know if you guys can read it. You should be able to read it. This is the mentality of people in this country. And I know that I say it's not a black channel, but I do speak on a lot of black issues because I have an announcement to make. I'm a black man. I didn't want to disappoint you guys. I don't want you guys to think I'm out here Sean Kinging it, but I am a black man. And from time to time I will discuss black issues, and this is what it is. I'll discuss minority issues, black issues, and I'm gonna talk about everybody too. Talking about that video, people talking about you can't talk about LGBT issues because you don't. I can talk about whatever the fuck I want to. But this is what I'm saying about this generation, this mentality that we have, and that's why This is because of people like this that socialism and stuff is on the rise. You know that they said they did a survey. I think it's like 41% of college students don't support free speech. And I think a lot of it is coming from these universities being, extremely liberal. I have no problem. I don't believe in hate speech. It is what it is. I say the things I want to say. I don't hate anybody. But I don't think that you should ban these terms. I think people should be familiar with them. And I use shit all the time, cracking jokes. And I know people who are of whatever background that a derogatory term may come from, and they use it on each other all the time. So, it is what it is. I'll read this for you if you can't see it. It says, why are black people praising sellout Robert F. Smith for paying off Morehouse students' debt? He never cared about black people or our plight. Because if he did, period, he wouldn't marry a old washed up white Playboy bunny whore who will eventually get all his money. Shaking my head. And the only thing is this motherfucker mad that they not getting his money. And what kills me, it'll be the motherfucker who talking some shit, and you look like you trying to paint yourself damn near white in the fucking picture. Sure, you got some filters on and some other shit to look like whatever you want. Whatever makes this fucking man happy, he needs to do whatever the fuck he wants to. You know what I'm saying? And it kills me, because and I'm gonna tell y'all something. And this is something I've noticed. Same motherfucker who's mad about this guy marrying a white woman, or being married to a white woman, has absolutely no problem with Eve being married to like a Russian billionaire or some other billionaire or something like that. They have that same person who's mad about him has no problem with Eve being married to a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? And look, if you're gonna play it across the board, play it across the board. If you're gonna hate. But because he's married to a white woman and y'all can't get to have the money that he worked for, he doesn't care about black people. If he didn't give a fuck, he wouldn't have given all these black gentlemen a fresh start in their collegiate careers to go out and be successful, to not have to worry about debt, to go out and get a solid job and, start making progress from out the gate. But because you're not happy with the color of the skin of the person that he is with, he's a sellout. He's all this other stuff, right? Well, he just bought out all these people's debts. So I'd rather be a sellout and a bought out and not be sitting here complaining about what the other motherfuckers. Do you think that he's worried about what other motherfuckers are doing? Do you think that he's worried about what's going on with who's marrying who? And again, it's the mentality. It's what you focus on. What you focus on, where your attention goes is what you get. And to me, like I say, this is the despicable mentality that so many people have. They're so much more concerned with shit like this. Oh man, Psalms. I meant to talk about that yesterday, but you have so many people who are upset with shit like this instead of being focused on their own issues and getting themselves out of situations. The thing is, if you focus more on yourself, and this is where I say that I don't have a problem with ambition and things like that, because then you can help other people. When you are driven and you can acquire everything that it is that you want in life, then you have the opportunity to reach out and help others. You know what I'm saying? Do you think any of them black men who had their debt paid, do y'all think that they're going to give the money back because his wife is white? What this is in here, and this is the image, this is a woman who is unhappy with her own life. She's mad, maybe because she might not even be in college. Obviously, she's not in college. You can see by the way she's writing. She didn't do much collegiate tenure. And, my thing is, come on, man. You don't get any of the money. You mad because you definitely ain't finna marry no motherfucker like that. And you upset about all this other shit. Like, all that shit is irrelevant to me, man. It's crazy. But yet you in your picture, light bright. And look, the woman, let me bring this back up. What is the difference in the skin tone from this picture right here to this picture right here? It looks almost the same. Almost the same. Who gives a shit? He's just giving these 400 black men a chance to start off on the right foot, But here's my deal. You say that ambitious is what makes others need help, but him being ambitious and pursuing and getting what he got has given these 400 black men help, and they can go on and build for themselves, and they'll be able to pass that help down, And there's people who are born haters. Because their situation, and a lot of this I feel like comes from social media. They see these people who are doing well for themselves, who are capitalizing on the opportunities, and they're mad at them because oh, I didn't take this. I mean, it's always time. It's always time. It's always a chance. It's always opportunity, man. You know, I'll never hate anybody for being successful. You know. But you know, it's just like, man, you know, you just copy you. What? What's the motherfucking deal? Who got calling in on the Den line this evening?
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey,
How are you doing this evening, Miss Rashida?
I'm doing good.
Okay. What's on your mind tonight?
I just can't believe the backlash that man doing. He's trying to do something good for black people, and it still ain't happening. It's really kind of sad and pathetic.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I can't, and that's why I say, you know, in this life, you just got to do whatever the fuck you want to do, because there's going to be somebody that's going to hate you no matter what. You do good, they're going to hate you. You do bad, they're going to hate you. It's almost like if you do bad, they give you more love for doing bad than for doing good.
But you know what? Like they say, you'll never see a hater doing better than you. So I don't even think that he cares. Cause from where he at in the world compared to the person that made that meme, he don't hear her.
Yeah.
And it looked like she needs to drop into college herself, because that meme had all kind of grammatical errors and everything.
Man.
I mean, she should have been embarrassed to write it, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
At least if you're gonna write something about something that got to do with education, sound educated.
Right? That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. And the thing is, again,
Right? If you gonna speak, at least be on your stuff. You know what I'm saying?
so what do you think the origin of her hate comes from?
Lack of education.
Okay.
Because what does the color of his wife have to do with anything?
Nothing.
That should be the last thing on anybody's mind.
Nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Because if he was a sellout, he would have took his money and went to any school. He chose to go to a black school.
Exactly. Because he could have went and paid for any and everybody he wanted to. And especially with Morehouse being in, I believe they are in a little bit of a financial situation. So that means that school is going to get all their money, you know, and hopefully that motivates more people maybe to want to attend, bringing that attention to that college, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's the crazy stuff. I agree, Yasmin, exactly. You know, and I'm a fan of what Nipsey did and, you know, worked and did for his community, but this is in a situation where he's helped these men be able to go on and help others. You know, Nipsey helped out individuals in his community, and they may still be struggling with some stuff to get right, but these are gentlemen who can go and take care of families. They can elevate to a higher class in society. I mean, they can do so much more. And again, as they said, that debt is going to end up being between 10 and 40 million. Like the school didn't even have it, the amount tallied up yet, because it was a surprise. He did that like randomly out of nowhere. He didn't tell anybody he was doing it. He didn't let anybody know, you know, anything. And so when he called out
I
the
heard
other
it like maybe between 10 to 40 million, something like that. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. I don't care if you're a billionaire. I don't care if you're a dollaraire. That's a lot of motherfucking money, man. And people get upset with other people. And the thing is, these people who are saying this would not do none of that shit. These are the same people who wouldn't go dedicate a little bit of their time to help somebody else out, much less, you know, some money out their pocket. And that's what kills me about these people having an opinion. I can't tell somebody else what they need to do with their money. You know, like, I mean, it's not my, if I didn't make it, I didn't earn it, I can't tell you what to do with it. And that's the thing that kills me. You know what I'm saying?
I just wish we could just get rid of all the haters in our community, because they ain't doing nothing but they're just dragging us down. If we could get rid of them, I think we'd be better off.
Yeah.
Hating, jealousy, all this shit, all those are roadblocks to us progressing, actually.
I agree.
All that crab in the barrel mentality, that shit been going on so long, it don't even make sense.
Yeah. You know, and my thing is this, I agree that you got to get rid of the haters. Like, even people who I feel like that you may disagree with on certain fundamental topics, but they're willing to listen, we're willing to exchange ideas, you can work with people like that. But when people just automatically dead set, they don't want to hear it, they don't want to listen to you, they feel like you can't be part of the conversation, you can't be any of these things, because either you're not suffering from what they believe is some type of affliction, or you're not from this background, or you don't understand this, or you ain't from here, where, whatever. Like, what does that mean? If I'm trying to offer assistance, offer help, or whatever it is I'm trying to understand, but because I don't, I didn't grow up in a particular way like you did, so I'm not supposed to be a part of the situation. But obviously, whatever you got going on, or people who are suffering from this aren't progressing because y'all still got this particular problem. I agree. You got to get the hater mentality, and even just on an individual basis, in your own life, my life, anybody in the chat in your life, you got to get rid of the haters, because they're gonna slow you down from doing anything. And sometimes haters are well-meaning. In this case, not at all, because the correlation that you used had nothing to do with anything. Sometimes haters are well-meaning. When you take risks, they try to prevent you because they're afraid, because they know that they would fail, and they think they're helping you to prevent yourself from failing. But I don't think that's the case.
I really thought this was gonna be a bigger story, like it was gonna be everywhere. But I'm just seeing a lot of hate on this man, and I don't understand it. But I guess that's not for me to understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's craziness. It really is.
They have no idea how relieving them of their student loan burden, like it really helps their life. You know what I'm saying? They can start fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's one of the biggest debts that people carry. They go to college. Now they can work their job and start saving money and start their future off better without being dragged down for 20, 30 years trying to pay a student loan off. Because it's people in their senior years still paying student loan debt. So giving people a fresh start, I don't think there's nothing better than that.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's the thing. I'm gonna address that, Yasmin. That's a very good point. But my thing is, you would think more people would want to get to know who this man is, how he got in his position, because again, like we talk about, if you're an entertainer, everybody love you. But because the story is always that, black man can't make it in America, you can't do this, you can't do that. Do you think that black folks only relate to a person if they have some type of hood mentality, they doing something that people consider ghetto, and then they got rich by doing some ghetto or foolishness, as opposed to doing doing something different?
But you know what? I just hope it don't deter other people from doing the same thing. Because people might see him as an inspiration, but then see the backlash and put their checkbook right back up. I ain't gonna, I'm not gonna do nothing I had thought about. It might be something nice for me to do, but I don't want to go through what he's going through. So.
If people want to get out, they don't want to inspect your whole life now and judge you for every little thing that you do. Not realize this man has been doing good stuff for lower income communities for a very long time.
I wonder, he could take my loans too. Shit, I don't care if you have no white woman. Shit, if you want looking for an extra loan to pay off, shit, I'll send him my paperwork. Shit, I don't care. Shit.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That somebody would worry about something so trivial. Like,
I'm happy for those young people. So.
Yeah, because those
they might not even. You know what? They might not even realize the magnitude of his gift because they're so young. But people that's out here still paying student loans, we know what their struggle is. So,
You say you're trying to get that.
I hope they really thankful for it, because that's a blessing.
Oh man, I've seen a couple of little interviews. Some of them dudes breaking down. They was just, because they was like, you just don't understand. I'm already playing my life out with these debts. And so this is going to be able to free their minds up from the stress of having to pay these bills. Because, a lot of times you're going to go into a entry-level position, and you're not going to make a whole lot of money depending on what field you went in. Now you don't have to worry about it. Now your mind is free to discover yourself, to discover other opportunities. When you're not stressing over money, the world opens up and you can see other things. You can say, okay, well, hey, here's an opportunity. It might give them the platform to build something greater. You just never know.
Now you ain't got to block Sally Mae when she called. You know what I'm saying? When she called, you could just tell her, hey, send me my paperwork because y'all have been paid off. That ain't no feeling better than that.
Oh, exactly. And I see you talk about he trying to get a tax break. Trust me, he rich. You don't become a billionaire without knowing all the necessary tax breaks to get there. So trust me, he good on tax breaks.
Yeah, he probably will get a big that write-off for it. But hey, it's better than paying taxes on that money because, that him making so much money, I know he in a tax bracket where he paying a lot of money. So, hey,
Yeah. And that's the thing, man.
ain't nothing wrong with it.
I'd rather get to
Ain't
choose what I do
nothing
with my
wrong with
money
it.
than let the government try to figure out what to do with my
Exactly.
money. You know. Well, y'all ain't never had a breakfast taco. What? Oh, y'all slipping. Y'all slipping. I'm finna talk bad about y'all in just a minute.
I don't think tacos should be for breakfast. That just sounds weird to me.
What?
That is so weird. No.
See, we gonna have a food fight. First, you wasn't rocking with the gumbo, and then you say no tacos for breakfast. See, that's y'all don't have enough Mexicans in your area. You know what I'm saying? Y'all haven't had the pleasure of experiencing a taco for breakfast. You know, some chorizo and egg. You know, something
Yeah,
like
my
that.
hate chorizo. That is so disgusting.
Look, when we have a Houston meet and greet, look, trust me, I'm finna put you on something. I'm finna change your life. Look,
Hey, Brandon, you know why I come to Houston. I ain't gonna be on here talking, but you already know. Me and you, yeah, most definitely. We gonna catch up with bro, but I ain't gonna do too much talking on here.
Oh man. Oh man. But yeah, look. That's gonna be a show in itself, man. Breakfast
I
taco.
know, right?
Yeah, that's tough. So I got a question because I noticed something. I noticed something that you said. I noticed something that John missed. I'm gonna put a poll in here in a second. I need the folks in the chat just pick one word or the other. I need to know what y'all call it. Do y'all call it soda or do y'all call it pop? Because I've noticed you call it pop. I think John Mess called it pop. I know down here we always call it soda. I know my grandparents always call it soda water. So I need to know what's going down in the chat. Do y'all call it soda or do y'all call it pop? I'm curious
I
about
call it pop. That would be weird to say soda, but
Word, why is soda weird to you?
I don't know. It just sounds. I don't know. It sounds strange to me to say soda.
A drink? Okay, we got some drink. Well,
It's
y'all
that
should.
good shit. This what it is. That good shit.
That good shit. Y'all know, look, you in the city and down here, you talk about some drink, they gonna be like, some purple? You got some oil? What you mean? You gonna be leaning, you talk about some drink down here, you gonna be sitting sideways.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I see some variety in here. You know what I'm saying?
What do you call it?
I call it soda.
Really?
Yeah, I call it soda.
Wow. Okay.
Let me get a little soda real quick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how I've always called it. So New Orleans a cold drink, okay. Fizzy drink. Interesting. Coke. Everybody called everything Coke. Okay. We gonna have to do some. We gonna have to do a episode on food vernacular. We gonna just talk about
Yeah.
what people call different things. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine. That's just strange.
You know, different strokes for different folks. So
Yeah.
I mean, so with this though, do you know? I know you said that you think it'll cause some people maybe to kind of close their wallets. Do you think that though
Uh-huh.
that more people will come forward though ultimately, even with all this backlash? Do you think it's really it's gonna stop people? Do you think that this should motivate richer folks to do more?
I think it could have, but seeing what he going through and then people digging all in his personal life and seeing who he married to, which I didn't think had nothing to do with what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of disappointed in my people right now because we sit on our ass and complain about nobody want to help us.
Yeah.
Then we got somebody help us. We want to talk shit to them.
Yeah. Do you think they would look at it differently if he went down to the hood and bought a bunch of shoes?
If they gotta tell. It's always when you're not on the receiving end of a blessing that you want to start your shit.
Okay, I can agree with that. And that's fucked up. That's a fucked up way to be. You should be happy for the folks that got blessed by that. You know what I'm saying? And continue moving forward. But you guys folks that are just so negative that the first thing they're gonna look at in any situation is the negative aspects of it. You know, instead of being happy for
That's
what
not
we want.
all people. That's a negative characteristic of our people. Period.
Well, that's a poor characteristic to have. That's
Yeah, it's
sad.
a terrible character. I'm just sick of it. Every time so I see somebody out here trying to do something, here they go with the bullshit and the backlash and all this dumb shit. Like damn.
Yeah. Or anything. That's terrible. It really is. Like,
Leave that man alone. If he like his white woman, so what? As long as he out here trying to do good and help us, hey, I could care less.
yeah, yeah. Look, he went on. Look, he dropped
Now
all
that's
that money.
probably, what? That might have been something he wanted to do every year. Now after this, I doubt if he will do it again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what? If when you are a giving person, you shouldn't let the devils come in and change your mind
Yeah.
and stop you from doing your work. Because that might be what he here to do, to be a blessing to other people.
Yeah. I think in the end, I think it's gonna have more. It may, pan out take a little bit longer, but I think it'll be more good than bad because I think one it brings.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna bring some good attention to them. The haters just gonna hate anyway because that's all they got to do, and they gonna stay stagnant.
but
But
you
all
know
the people
what?
who look into it, who
I
move
think
forward.
somebody needs to get over there and do the same thing for Spelman for those young women and stuff. Let's do some balance here.
You think Oprah gonna slide over there? Look.
Let's go around all the HBCUs and help out. That'll really be a nice way to start your life off fresh.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be interesting. We'll see what happens from. We'll see what happens from this. Like I said, I hope in the long term that it is actually beneficial because it's sad that you see so much.
So what do you
hate.
think is gonna happen?
I think in the end, like I said, if it doesn't happen directly with others going out and doing something similar, I do believe that the long-term outcome, even just from that class of people, is going to have a positive impact. I think it's going to have a positive impact because he has introduced himself to, millions of people who may not have known who he was. They'll get a chance to hear his
I
story.
didn't know who he was.
Yeah, and I think they'll get a
Did you
chance to
know
hear
who he
his story
was?
and grow. Yeah, I know who he was.
You did? Oh, okay. I've never heard of him before.
Because like I said, a while back, I went and, because we always talk about, the only way you can be rich and black is if you're an athlete or if you're an entertainer or you this, and that. That's not true, because there's been plenty of black business magnates throughout the year. I mean, even in slave times, and a lot of people don't know this because we only go by one narrative. There's been several. There were families who never endured that. There were black doctors. There were black people who were doing a lot of different things, even in those days. Yeah, the majority were of the slave mentality. But if you go and you look, throughout history, you have to look for it because nobody's going to willingly give you that information. But there have been well-to-do black people forever. I can't remember the name of the guy. It was a guy in Detroit who was, I think he had several hundred million. I don't think he was a billionaire, but he talked about how he started out. He was a janitor, basically. He was cleaning. I think he started a business.
So how did he make his money?
What
How
he
did
did?
he make his deal?
Who? Robert Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started out in finance. I couldn't remember if it was tech or finance, but it's like a combination of the two. But he's in finance, and that's something I won't say anybody can get into. But if you study and you work hard enough, you can learn it and you can get into it. But that's not the fields that most blacks go into when they get into college. Honestly, the majority of black people go into education. When they go to college, they get into education. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of what it is. Either they go after they play football, they play sports, they end up becoming like a coach or something at a school or whatever, or they, most black women go in, they become teachers or something like that. And then so we complain about, a black college degree is severely under. It's because of what you're picking. It's because of the field that you're going into. There's technicalities to everything. You can lump a bunch of numbers together and say anything. But in reality, you got to break down the stats. You got to break down what it is and what people are doing and why this is happening. So if you choose a particular field that doesn't make a lot of money, then of course that degree's not going to be very worthwhile. If you go in and you taking liberal arts studies, then it's not going to be worth shit. You got to take up a specific field. You got to go either be a doctor, be in some type of computer science or something that is going to make you profit and that you can grow from. You know, if you go and you be a teacher, then you at the mercy of whatever school district you in. You know what I'm saying? You know, and yeah, or like you said, your social studies get government jobs, and that's the reason. And so people get mad about a lot of these studies and things that come out, but they don't really look into the details of it. But if you go back and look, like say, it was a guy from Detroit, and he started out as a janitor and ended up making several $100 million. And his thing was because he said, you know, and here's the model that I believe in is you always do your best work. Doesn't matter whatever job it is. And he was talking about the guy, I think, caught him in Michigan and offered him a chance to work at, I think, either Ford plant or something, one of them plant, whatever plant was out there in Detroit, one of them car plants. And so he ended up, you know, working. He started cleaning those buildings out, and then he was doing such a great job on that. He started hiring other black folks to do, you know, not engineering, but something of that sort. And so the company had a problem. They came to him and they said, hey, well, you think you could solve this deal? Because the guy knew him for doing such great work at everything he did. And they gave him a contract, and he ended up solving that problem that they had, and that shit was worth several $1 million. And then he ended up working for, you know, helping out other different companies, and he made a lot of money. You had, I want to say his name was Gaston. I might be wrong. But I didn't know they had the guy in Atlanta who started the insurance, and you had a lot of people in Atlanta who actually made some real good money. But like I say, it's just all over the place, but you don't look for those stories because the easiest story to hear is, especially if you're coming from an impoverished state, is, oh, well, you know, your people were slaves and Jim Crow and everything else is pressing us down and we can't win. Yeah, so if you buy that, then you know if they'll sell it to you if you buy it, and if you buy it, then yeah, that's what you're gonna rock with, and you're gonna use that as a reason to why you can't thrive, why you can't succeed. But if you go and look and say, man, you know, I feel like I'm just as good as anybody else on this motherfucking planet, and I'm not finna believe in letting these obstacles hold me down. We talked about, you know, overcoming obstacles. Well, how did this dude make it? How did this dude make it? This dude came from poverty. This guy came from poverty, and he was successful. So how can I do the same thing? You know, and it's a lot of them out there. And the thing is too, you can always use. Somebody said that what they do when they need inspiration is they feel down about themselves. They use the Ray Charles story. And even though it was entertainment, Ray Charles was blind as a child. He was poor and blind. And he became one of the greatest entertainers in all the world, being poor, and blind, and everything else, and was able to make it out on top. So if he could do that with all the obstacles he had, it being black and all that stuff, with the blindness and you know, other things on top of that, then there should be no excuse.
And Jamie Foxx played the hell out of that role too.
Well, yeah, I ain't bad at it for that.
That's my point right there. Jamie Foxx don't play no game.
Yeah, he
Great
sold
actor.
shit out there. Yeah, and that's what I'm
Very
saying.
talented, yes. But you know what? When I first came across that meme, I thought it was something good. You know, I was like, oh, I think that's that dude that donate that money. Then I read the shit. I had to read it 3 times. First of all, to try to understand what the hell she's talking about, you know, because the shit just was, whew, didn't make no sense.
Yeah.
I say, I know after this man to donate all this money to these people, that people is not actually up here saying negative stuff about him. That just threw me. I mean, I don't know why it threw me, because, you know, we got known to do this, you know. We complain, nobody help us. Then somebody help us, we complain.
Yeah, it wasn't enough, or he ain't doing enough for everybody. The man came out several million out of pocket without even tripping, was happy to do so, and we mad because he got a white wife. Man, miss me with that shit. You know, miss me with that shit.
Well, I'm gonna have to wrap it up, but you know what? Did you see that report about how Nipsey Russell's sister trying to keep the mama from seeing the child?
No, I kind of read something slightly over it, but I didn't see the full details, because I heard somebody, you know, she had a drug problem or something like that, and so that's why
you know what? Even though Nipsey had custody of her, I think he would let the mother, you know, the mother was involved with the child, but they just trying to, you know, cut off all visitation and everything. You know, she hadn't seen her daughter since, I think since the funeral.
That's tough.
And then the sister went to court to get guardianship of the little girl.
Yeah.
That's just a mess. And people are saying it's over the money, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's super tough. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that though. I'm gonna have to see what the real details are on it, because I know it's a bunch going on with his estate right now.
Well, if I see anything else, I'll hit you about.
All right, well, I appreciate it.
I ain't talking now. I ain't that other one. It's all business. Now I know how people in the den get. This is all business, okay?
Yeah.
So don't try to get the
They
bullshit.
gonna try to start some rumors. Hey, look, everybody got the number. Y'all can use it just the same way. If you got some info, you can text it in line. You can shoot
Exactly.
pictures. You can do all that
Exactly.
shit. You know what I'm saying? And I get with y'all. Sometimes I kind of miss it, but I try to get with y'all and check everything out. So look, yeah, don't be
Exactly. I got the same number y'all got. I don't got no different number for him, folks. Let's not start no bullshit. Nothing else.
straight up. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
All right, I appreciate it. You already know, Miss Rashida.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
All right, you have a good evening.
You too. Bye bye.
Alright. So we're gonna get ready to wind down here in just a couple of minutes, but man, you mentioned the ADOS thing, and like I said, I'm not super familiar. I've read briefly into it, here and there. Tanisha, you say Tanisha for warrants and shit. Who is Tanisha? But I saw somebody ask about the Malia thing. And they had an interview. A YouTuber actually got an interview with his dad, and his dad was saying he don't believe he did any of that. He was actually washing clothes and all that stuff. I know the mom did an interview. Like I said, I want to do a video on it, but like I said, as far as my editing software, I've been trying to change some shit up, and what I have is like the preview doesn't show, and so I can't really see how my videos are looking when I put, the little graphics and things in them. I could record a basic one, I guess, just kind of without some of the shit, but I guess done is better than perfect. So I'm gonna do something tomorrow, regardless if it gets to working or not, because one of them was then it got to tripping and just a whole bunch of nonsense. But I'm gonna look more into that. But I don't think that should matter. I'm a person that believes, the problem with black folks is economics, and we get more hip to the economics, we do better as a culture. You talk about helping each other out and all that stuff. Well, you give each other game and understand how this thing works. Then more folks make money. You can hire more folks and everything else. But when you complain and sit here and say, and again, this is other people speaking, not my personal belief, but if you sit here and say, okay, well, white man the devil and it's this, that, and the third, he evil is this, but then that's who you go begging for a job. Well, what do you think your outcome is going to be? It's going to be negative for you because you're going to approach that whole situation with a negative mentality. So my thing is create your own, build your own lane, and find your own successes. And that's where you gotta that's where you gotta figure it out. Outside of that, you really ain't in a place to complain unless you start making the sacrifices and things that it takes to get to where you're trying to be. You just kind of gotta, I won't say you gotta deal with it, but I mean you do. You gotta play the game. If you're not changing the game, if you're not working the rules in your favor, if you're not learning the loopholes and things to benefit yourself, it's nobody's fault but your own. That's how I see the shit. And so there's so many opportunities in this day and age, just so many fucking opportunities. You gotta take it. You see people become successful using these digital platforms to sell products, to create their own brands. I saw somebody, who was it, said they make soap. I know it's somebody I follow on Twitter, and him and his wife sell soap, and he was able, I think he said they've been together 2 or 3 years, and now he helped her, where she could quit her job, and she had a good job, now she can go full time selling soap. And here's the fucked up thing about it. We talk about when motherfuckers do better. He posted that, he's like, yeah, man, I was able to help my wife, retire my wife early, and now, she can focus full time on the soap business. Somebody come hating, oh, so you ain't really retired your wife, you just moved her into a new job. This is the mentality. This is the mentality that is a problem. Anytime somebody is doing something positive for themselves, somebody else is going to come and undermine what it is that's being done. Somebody's going to come and try to undermine what you do. This motherfucker's going to hate no matter what. Everybody got an opinion, but opinions like assholes. Some of them bleached. Nah, some of them hoes funky. They smell like shit. But yes, make sure you like the video. If you're new to this, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hey man, look, make sure you tell a friend about the Den, live every night, 10 p.m. to midnight. We're gonna hold it down with the conversation. If you like what's going on, man, if you want to support the channel, shout out to Soul Better. I appreciate you showing some love and dropping some Benjamins in the den this evening. I sincerely appreciate that. If you would like to make a one-time donation, you go to streamlabs.com/the Den Show. You have the option, I think, of PayPal and or a credit card. Make sure, like I say, you check and make sure you don't have any unnecessary boxes checked. Because again, some people have told me that they did, and it like the Streamlabs has its own thing. Like if you want to sign up for something, it does. You can sign up for that too, to be able to put gifts and other shit on there. But as long as you don't check that box, it won't charge you for it. If you want to pledge on a monthly basis, you can go to patreon.com/the Den Show. Several tiers there. I told you that's where the Discord chat is, and like I say, I would love to build that up so we can kind of have a all day den conversation. For those of you who are looking forward or planning on joining us in Vegas, the weekend of November the 8th through the the 8th through the 10th. Well, it's 8th through, so Friday's the 8th, and that'll be Sunday the 10th. It's where we have the Den meet and greet, first annual meet and greet planned initially. And so I know I said I was going to do this today, get that information. I promise I'm going to have it tomorrow. I've been having some busy days the last week or so, so I haven't been on top of everything. But I'm going to have all that information together, and had a few good recommendations on hotels and things, so we're going to make sure we get on that. Ms. Bell, glad you could join us. Let me see. But outside of that, man, I appreciate y'all. If y'all here's the socials, make sure y'all get all the proper social medias. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all Den Show Live. And if you want to email the Den, if you ever got something you want to drop, you can either text the Den line, and like I say, I can receive pictures and everything on the Den line. You can call, you can text, you can, like I say, send pictures. If you see something, you screenshot something on the internet and you want to send it to me, you can do that. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Shout out, because we had a couple of new folks join the Facebook group, not the page, but the actual group itself. So shout out to them. We're gonna get that growing, get that conversation jumping too. So, man, I just appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all supporting. I appreciate y'all showing love. I appreciate y'all showing up each and every night, because again, it is a pleasure. It is an honor, and I'm thankful to get to chop it up with y'all every night, man. Because it's just a wonderful feeling to see how y'all feel and know what y'all are thinking and know what's on y'all's mind. Like I said, we'll be back at it tomorrow. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Y'all ain't got to go home, but the link is in the description for the Facebook group. But if you want the thing, I think it's facebook.com/groups/The Den Show, if I'm not mistaken. But the link is in the description. I think it's the Den Show. I don't think it's Den Show. Now, let me double check. Let me not even bullshit you. Let me pull it up for you right now. You know what I'm saying? Tony Snow, don't toot no blow. Let me do it right now. And that way, no, it is Den Show Live on the Dilly Dally. Let me see. All right. So everything is Den Show Live. Okay. So let me put this in the chat. So if you want to join the Facebook discussion, there you go. But said what cracked to be all that. Hey, third time's a charm. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it one more time, man. And I agree. Some people are meant to be workers. I mean, and it's an unfortunate thing. You know what I'm saying? But some people just don't want the pressure. They don't want to deal with everything that it takes to do all that. Some people rather go to a job, get their work on, go home, and enjoy their family. Some people want to build and make bigger platforms and do everything else. So I think the mom does know some shit, because that's what the dad was talking about, that she need to, you need to look at the mom while she ain't answering certain stuff. And I think it's pretty very, very, very interesting to see. And look, only one lie we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to see what's up with that soap. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how I can get at you and get some of that fancy soap. But I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. And hey, y'all support me. I do my best to support y'all. So if you got something going on, say that orange, I love it. But let me know where I can reach out to you. You know what I'm saying? Let me know where I can reach out to you, because I'll definitely check you out. Anything y'all got going on, y'all let me know. And And look, I definitely try to support. So with that being said, I appreciate it. I thank y'all, man. Y'all are wonderful folks. Don't let nobody tell you different. But y'all ain't got to go home. But y'all got to get out of here. I'm gone. Shout what y'all ain't doing. Y'all cooling? Y'all chilling? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely, she does. Then she talk about, oh, I hope she's still alive. I think, man, you know what's up with that. Just her whole demeanor, her body language, even when she did them interviews, dressed in all black, a lot of suspect behavior from that woman. But we'll talk about it.